Hey, heard you guys came here for a transformation video. Well, here you go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I show you guys how to get that high-end designer look on a budget. I'm so excited to finally be sharing our home gym with you guys. This has been a room months in the making. I really wanted it to feel very aesthetic and designer, but still really function well as a home gym. And this is really fitting into the theme of my channel with those budget makeovers. We really tried to keep everything in here very cost effective, but still give a really big impact and make this room feel like it looks expensive. It looks like it's a designer room, but really we didn't spend that much money on it. So I'm excited to show you guys how we did that today. I did not want it to feel like it was just some workout equipment that we slapped into a builder grade box and hung some mirrors up. I really wanted it to have those personal touches, those designer elements that made me really happy to be in this room, that made me want to spend time in this room and feel motivated to get a good workout in. So I'm excited to show you guys how we did that. And one more thing I wanted this room to be is very versatile. I wanted it to be a great slate if we ever wanted to change up the function of this room in the future, and I think we really achieved that. So I'm excited to show you guys the process of how we did it from start to finish. So if you guys are ready, let's get into that transformation.
Okay, so this was our starting out point, and we actually nicknamed this room the dump room because it was the one room we weren't really using and just kind of dumped all our stuff in it, like craft supplies, video equipment, home decor I wasn't using, etc. So we were originally going to make part of our garage the workout space, but we figured it'd be nice to have an air-conditioned room to work out in and decided to transform the dump room into our workout space. So we cleaned her up so we could start with our first matter of business, which was adding some wall moldings. And I feel like wall moldings have the ability to instantly elevate your space and make it feel very inviting and just provide that designer looking backdrop to your space. I felt like this was especially important because we were going to have a lot of not so pretty workout equipment in this room, and the more I could soften the look of the room, the better. So we headed out to Lowe's to get some primed MDF, which at that point in time was the cheapest option, and I will have the exact sizes we used listed in the description box. But when we got home, we measured out the spaces for both the bottom piece and the top piece of molding, since we wanted to lay those first to kind of give ourselves a guide, and we also decided to leave the baseboards intact and not rip them out because it would have been super tedious, and I personally like the look of the baseboards. So then we attached both the top piece and the bottom piece and added a really thin layer of wood glue so it would adhere really well to the wall, and then just used a nail gun to hold them all in place. So once we had the top and bottom pieces laid throughout the entire room, I went in and created a little guide for myself for all of the vertical pieces so that once I made my cuts, it would be super simple to lay everything into place. So then I made all of my cuts, and I just went in and attached all the vertical pieces using that same exact process of the wood glue and then just securing them in with the nail gun. I did, however, run into a little problem with some of the window trim just because it was a very ornate molding that the builders had used, and it just looked really funky next to the Craftsman type board and batten that we were putting in. It kind of jutted out a little bit, so we decided the best option was just to remove it and then replace it with some of the primed MDF for a more seamless look. So then, just to give it a really finished and professional look, I added a skinny piece of primed MDF to the top just to give it a little bit of a ledge. And as you guys can see here, adding that little piece really makes a big difference in the overall look of the molding, and I think was really worth it to do. The only thing is to be really careful when using the nail gun, because if the nails are pointed the wrong way, they can stick out, and you probably would just be fine gluing them into place, but I just added a couple of nails very carefully just for some added security. So to make everything really smooth and seamless before we painted, we just caulked all of the corners and filled all of the nail holes. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this part was tedious, but I really think it makes a huge difference in the overall look of the molding. And once that was done and had dried overnight, it was time to pick the paint color. And I really wanted to go with like a taupey, grayish color because I think this looks really classic and casual and just provides a good neutral base to play off of with the rest of my decor. I'm definitely an advocate of picking about 4 paint samples and testing them out in your space with your room's specific lighting just to really be sure of the paint that you're buying. And I started out testing like 4 paint colors, but I actually ended up with about 8 samples at the end of it. I just spent so much time and effort on the molding that I really wanted to make sure I was picking the right color. So the paint color I ended up picking was Agreeable Gray by Sherwin-Williams, but we got it in the Valspar paint at Lowe's, and the brand of paint that you choose for the base actually makes a huge difference in the overall color, so just keep that in mind. So all of the paint samples were totally worth it because I really love this color and will probably use it again in other parts of my home. I will say that not only is caulking board and batten tedious, but unfortunately painting it is pretty tedious as well. There are so many cracks and crevices that you have to use a smaller paintbrush for because you really have to smooth it all out to prevent dripping. And I use the roller just for those larger spaces to kind of even out the texture of the paint on those flat surfaces. Now, this was the most time-consuming part of this whole makeover, but I do really feel like it was all worth it and I would 100% do it again just for how much I think this molding elevates the room and provides such a pretty base to play off of with the rest of the design and the decor. So now that we have that done, it's time for all of the fun design elements and finishing touches. One of the things I brought in to make this room feel a bit more cozy and designer was actually a rug to put under our elliptical instead of using a plain black gym mat. And for those of you wondering, we got our elliptical secondhand on Facebook Marketplace for $150, which is a great option to save some money on gym equipment. And I feel like this really softens the space and adds that aesthetic element, but it is still super functional because the specific rug is very thick and it serves the same purpose as a gym mat, but it just looks prettier. So I got this one at Target and it's really great quality and I will link it below. Another designer element I never go without in my rooms are curtains or window treatments, and IKEA is always my go-to for curtains because they have such good variety at amazing price points. And these specific curtains are the Lenda curtains, which I have throughout my entire home because you just cannot beat the price. The curtain rods and finials are also from IKEA as well, and because we have 9-foot ceilings in our home, I always hang my curtains high to draw your eye up. So I buy the really long curtains and then I just shorten them myself with iron-on hem tape, and I have a more in-depth tutorial on how I do that in my small bedroom makeover. I just love that you can get the look of custom curtains, but you only paid $3 for some iron-on hem tape. So something that we needed function-wise in a workout room is obviously a ceiling fan, and I found this one at the Home Depot. It was super affordable and even came with a remote. We have the same exact one in our master bedroom, and we really like this one. My wonderful husband was able to watch a couple of YouTube videos and assemble it and install it, and I love the black, sleek, modern lines of this fan. I went with black accents in this room to provide kind of an eye-pleasing contrast against the lighter colors that we used, and also to tie in the blacks of the gym equipment, which I will show you guys in a little bit. So another thing we needed function-wise in a home gym were mirrors. So we headed off to IKEA and found these really pretty black floor mirrors for $50 each, and instead of doing a wall mirror, I wanted to make it a bit more aesthetic and kind of create a mirror wall, but just with these guys all grouped together. So this is how we decided to hang them. It kind of gives the illusion of a mirrored wall, but it just looked a bit more polished, and I was actually out of town when Mike hung them, so I have no footage of it. So you guys will see how they turned out in the final reveal, and I'm so excited to show you guys. So next we decided to go big and purchase a functional trainer, and let me tell you guys, it has been so worth it because I use that thing like almost every day, and it was one of the things that I personally missed so much about the gym after we canceled our memberships. But it came like this, and Mike was a rock star and put the whole thing together himself, and for this specific trainer they have a detailed YouTube video on how to put it together, which took Mike a couple of hours. And we got this functional trainer specifically because it's super compact and doesn't take up a lot of space, but you're still able to do lots of different exercises on it, and it works really well for us. So next I found this really gorgeous framed canvas of some crashing waves at HomeGoods for $60, which I thought was actually a really good price for a large statement piece, and I decided it would go really well in this room and just provide a really calming feel, which I wanted. I also thought the muted blue-gray tones would look really pretty against the wall color, and the white frame would give it a nice crisp contrast to make the photo really pop and create a statement. So we used a little painter's tape hack that I saw on TikTok where you just mark the holes of the hangers on the tape, you then put the tape on the wall, mark your holes, and then you add your screws, and I feel like it just makes hanging artwork, especially large artwork, a lot easier. Now, because of the board and batten, we did have to get really long screws and have them stick out past the wall molding. We had to do the same thing for the mirrors as well, but we just made sure we got really big, strong screws and it really wasn't too complicated. I love how this picture looks and that we were able to utilize the space with wall decor to dress it up, but not block off the entrance to the room with anything too bulky or heavy. And on that same note, I just wanted to add some pretty, decorative, but yet functional wall pegs so that I could hang some of our workout items and equipment, and I found these really pretty unique leather and wood pegs on Amazon. They were super affordable, and these are a great way to just dress up an empty wall you may have in an entryway, a bedroom, a laundry room, whatever. I love the unique designer look of these and how easy they were to install. So as pretty as these are, I wanted to display some functional yet aesthetic gym accessories on here, and I found this set of really nice resistance bands on Amazon. I use these all the time and I love how non-slip they are. I also love that they came in neutral colors so they would look really pretty hung up on these pegs. I also just used this really pretty striped Ladine Turkish style hand towel that I got from HomeGoods, and I figured this would be a pretty aesthetic touch, but also functional if we need a towel when working up a sweat, you know? They came in a 3-pack, so they'd be really easy to switch out if one was in the wash or whatever. And the little tag even acted perfectly as a hanger. I didn't even have to add anything to hang it up. And then lastly, I found this super pretty jump rope for $6 at Tuesday Morning, and I thought it played perfectly off of those blue-gray tones that we have going on this wall, and not to mention it's perfect for a high-intensity cardio warm-up. And there you have it, a really pretty yet functional set of wall pegs that provide aesthetically pleasing storage for this space. And then just to really finish this wall off, I wanted to add a little picture light above the artwork, but I didn't want to have to do any electrical work, so I found this battery operated picture light on Amazon, and I just didn't love how there was a two-tone gold thing going on, so I just decided to tape off the light part of the lamp with painter's tape and give it a fresh coat of spray paint. This also just helped tone down the orange of it that I didn't love so much, and I hung it up there, and I really think that this just makes the wall look very finished and polished. It also comes with a remote where you can pick either a warm setting or a cool setting for the light, which I love. So I'm all about aesthetically pleasing storage, and I found this really cute basket at HomeGoods for $20. I loved the herringbone-like pattern on it, and it was the perfect size for storing our workout mats. I really love these mats. They're awesome quality, and I love the contrasting colors of them, and I like how we kept with that light gray / beige and black color palette. I also incorporated this storage basket with leather handles for our cable attachments. I found this thing at Aldi, and it's just convenient to have a spot to store it all in that's visually pleasing and keeps the clutter out of sight. Now, greenery is a must for me in any room that I decorate, and I found this olive tree for super cheap on Amazon, but when I received it, I didn't love how the branches were so green. I just thought that it looked a little bit fake, so I decided just to use some Waverly chalk paint in the shade Mineral and just paint the branches to give it a bit more of a realistic look, and I honestly think this made a huge difference and made the tree branches look a lot more real. I then found this really gorgeous pot for only $19.99 at the Home Depot. I really liked how it had that faux, aged, rustic look that would really tie in well with the olive tree as well as the cognac color leather wall pegs we have. So I decided to put my tree in here just to give it a little bit more of an authentic look. I wanted to elevate it a little, so I stacked a candle underneath and then some leftover bubble packaging that I had laying around and just filled up the space in the planter with that. I then cut out a circle of poster board. I cut a slit through it and made a cutout for the tree trunk, and then I just placed this right on top. I used this really pretty moss that I got from Walmart actually to lay over the poster board. This just makes the tree trunk look a bit more authentic and gives me the opportunity to make it a little bit taller. And voila, I love how much this simple tree just dresses up this room with a lot of industrial feeling equipment in it and just gives it the right amount of softness. So next I just wanted to add a little seating area right next to the tree where we could sit down, grab a drink of water, rest, or just put my laptop on if I'm following a workout video or something like that. And I know it was kind of an awkwardly small space, but I was able to find the perfect size bench on Target's website. It was super easy to put together. I think there was a total of like 8 screws and that was it. I loved the little leather strap details and how perfectly the wood and fabric just softened the look of this space a bit. I also figured the space underneath the bench was perfect for storage, and it just so happens that Mike and I have a set of power blocks, which are these really cool space-saving weight sets. The ones that we have go up to 24 pounds and are super easy to adjust, so I just plop those right under the bench so we can still get at them easily, but they are still out of the way. And that is really about it, you guys. It's honestly so weird looking back at this footage of this messy, plain Jane, boxy room and how it has now been transformed into a cozy, serene, inviting, and motivating space to work out in.
Alright you guys, so that about wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you are new to my channel, be sure to check out my other home makeovers and DIY content. I'm a big believer that you can achieve the designer high-end look on a budget, and I really hope that my channel is a guide to do that for you guys. So thank you guys again for tuning into another video. Be sure to like this channel and subscribe if you're not already. It really helps my channel, and I'm so thankful for all of you guys. You guys are the reason that I am able to do this, and I'm so grateful. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!
What you using there? Some underwear?
This is just my muscles.
Those are very loud.
Well, here you go.